Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Moodang.
My name is Night Hag.
And I've never been more moist.
Never?
Probably.
Dang, my chin's coming off.
Amanda's having some issues with her prosthetics. Yes, we are in costume again if you are just a dear listener. I am dressed as the internationally famous pygmy hippo Moodang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking slippery as hell.
A little wet, a little moist, a little slippery.
Amanda's serving Night Hag.
That's right, baby.
And here we are for week 2, Halloween.
Halloween. Holla week 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
Because it's Halla month here at Drinking the Kool-Aid Inc.
It is. And we are drinking, what would we call this? Fall Aperol Spritz?
Yes. It has a name-ish. So Ashley, Apple Cider Aperol Spritz.
Apple Cider Aperol Spritz.
Ashley bought us some beers and funded this week's cocktail, which is an Apple Cider Aperol Spritz. It's quite good.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. You're amazing.
You are.
Ashley C.
Ashley C.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
So we'll drink to you today.
This is for you. You did this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
Oh yeah, baby.
So it is fall and it's also 90 degrees outside.
I was going to say it is fall, but it doesn't feel like fall.
No, it does not. It feels quite a bit like summer still. Yet here I am sweating my little patootie off in a gray sweater.
You are in a full ass like gray sweatshirt and sweatpants too.
Yeah, the sweatpants were needed. It's the middle of the period.
Oh, same.
It's like I can't be required to, and anything with a zipper or a button isn't happening.
We somehow got on the same exact cycle, like to a T.
My period is so late so often, and Amanda's period is so early so often that every once in a while we accidentally meet in the middle. Isn't that fun?
We met in the middle.
It's really cute of us, actually.
We had we had a little like mental breakdown at the same time, I think, but like I wasn't responding in the group chat when I was having my mental breakdown.
The way that me and Amanda spiral is complete opposite. I will send you 800 text messages about literally every feeling I've ever had in my entire life.
True.
And Amanda, on the other hand, I just won't hear from for like 4 days.
No, because especially the other day, remember what happened?
She did respond. I made a joke about a cocktail that she said she didn't like. And I said, "You're crazy. This is the best cocktail I've ever had in my life." And she said, "Well, I'm so glad you're enjoying the thing that you ordered for yourself." And I was like, whoa.
As it left my fingertips, I said, "Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that one." Like, they're going to be like, "You're being a cunt." But I didn't care. It needed to be said.
I was like, the sass.
I literally sent it and I was like, "Oh, God. I'm being..."
You're like, here I go again.
I'm being a little cunty. But I don't care.
That's another difference between me and Amanda. We're both huge cunts. But
So that's the same, not different.
Well, the way we do it is different. Like, you like to try to be like, what was wrong with what I said? I didn't say anything wrong. What are you talking about?
I did say that, actually.
And I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I am being a cunt. You bitch.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be a worse one.
Because I feel like I'm more like, I'm trying to be like a passive cunt, so I can try to be like, I can try to turn it around.
Deniability.
Yeah, like I can turn it around and be like, "What? I didn't say anything bad, but you knew my tone."
Immediately, girl, you don't text like that.
I know.
You have never sent a text message that curt and like vaguely polite, I guess. I'm really glad that you're going to enjoy what you ordered. That's an insane thing. I was just fully expecting you to be like, respond and just say like, "Oh, I'm just such a basic bitch. I have to have like just my classic espresso martini." But that is not how she responded.
And you know what? Had I not been in that mindset,
that's how you would have.
Maybe. Big maybe.
It's always a big maybe.
Because I am a cunt. Let's not forget.
It also depends how she got tipped that day at work.
That is true. You just never know what's going to happen.
Listen, and that is the joy of friendship.
That is the joy of the group chat.
Yeah.
My nose keeps hitting my mic. So Sorry,
your
guys.
nose and your chin prosthetics are trying to
Eat the mic.
Eat the mic is what it appears like from my angle.
I bet it looks really good from your angle.
Totally. It absolutely does. My second chin just keeps falling into my sweater
into your
fur.
first chin?
Into my first chin, yeah.
Good old Moodang.
You know, I had to. Somebody had to do it to him. I'm not as good as the SNL one, but
Okay, well they fucking can spend $1 million on
that costume was too good.
on a legitimate Moodang costume. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm working on a shoestring budget over here.
I think you did great.
Thank you.
I love the ears. I love the moistness of your face.
Yeah, I look slippery. I look like I'd be hard to catch, which I think is all you're really going for.
Can you
with
give me like a
Moodang.
Moodang like little scream and like a wiggle?
Oh, like that's what I feel like she would do.
Good.
She would be like,
I'm so sorry if you guys can't see that, but you should.
it was just me pretending to eat the mic.
You're missing out.
You're missing out. Okay, Zillow. Yeah, I get it. My payment could be $400 a month. All right, stop making me so depressed.
What do you mean? Oh, because if you move to like fucking middle of nowhere that you want to live in.
I have the Zillow notifications on for my hometown just because there's a lot of really cool houses there, and I like to look at houses, and also I'm nosy, and so I get the Zillow notifications for my hometown in Illinois, which is quite small, and they'll be like, "Here's this beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. It's like all classic Victorian, you know." Just gorgeous on like an acre or whatever. And it's like $80,000.
In your hometown?
Yeah.
Damn.
And it'll be like your month zestimated payment, right? They do a Zillow estimate, zestimate.
Yeah.
They zestimate for you.
Always.
And it'll be like zestimated monthly payment, $430.
Meanwhile, in Long Beach, California, $400,000 a month. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not far off. Yeah.
But sort of.
Because I also look at houses all the time in Long Beach, obviously.
Yes.
And I'll be like, oh my gosh, can you believe this house is less than $1 million? And it's like 400 square feet.
Yeah, literally. It's literally like a fucking shack.
And I'm like, there's only one room that's burnt out. Like, we could just get around that room.
Right.
Until we can afford to rebuild the walls from whatever exploded in there.
I do believe that you would, like, if there was a house that was like half burnt down, you would be like, yeah, I can make it work.
There was a house on our old block where we used to live together that had a catastrophic fire.
Uh-huh.
And so it was for sale for only like $400,000.
And you considered it.
And I was like, I could just put up a tent. I could just put
Here's
up a
the
tent
thing.
until I can save up to
I
investment.
I admire your zest and willingness.
my zestimates.
Your zestimates and your willingness to turn something that nobody else would ever in a million years consider into a possibility.
Well, don't worry, guys. Some real estate mogul bought it up and made it really nice, and now it's on Zillow for like
much?
1.4 million. So.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Fuck that person.
Well, it is what it is.
Que sera, sera.
That's right.
What will be, will be.
What will be, will be.
Oh my gosh, did you watch that movie I told you to watch or what? Oddity?
No, I did watch it. I thought it was really good, actually. I really liked it. I didn't really think it was like scary. Like there was a couple scary parts that I was like, whoo. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't sleep tonight scary. But I thought it was really well done.
Well, it's very specific. You know, like when you see the reason like, oh yeah, I can't sleep tonight scary is usually because it's like, I could be next.
Right.
That's not the vibe of that movie. Like
No.
It Follows or Smile or something like that, where it's like
Two very scary movies.
where it's like, this is a very specific like revenge horror movie. And so that's why it's good. And some parts like really got my heart pumping.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, any of the parts with like the fucking
Yeah.
wooden guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's this weird wooden thing happening.
He scared me for sure.
That woman who's like the lead, she's a really great actress. Really liked her.
Yes.
I want to live in that house. Speaking of, that's what
know.
reminded me of it.
I kept literally the whole time I kept on being like, why would anybody live in this house?
Oh,
and it's not a house, it's like a castle. But it's like an abandoned castle.
I need to live in that house. like deeply.
I think I even told my husband, because we were watching it together, and I was like, genuinely, I'm not even joking. If you gave me $1 million and said you have to live in here for a year, I wouldn't do it.
Really?
I would be too scared.
Even if it wasn't haunted?
That shit is haunted. I mean, it literally looked like an abandoned castle. Like, it was not haunted.
Okay, I'll give you that. It was not haunted for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I'm too scared. I'm a little pussy when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
you do sleep real good, though.
I do sleep real good. You know what? Maybe I could. I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say? I've never slept in. I mean, I have slept in haunted places before, but.
Oh, remember when we went to Jerome? Thank God we didn't stay at that haunted hotel.
Oh, seriously.
Okay, so we went to Jerome. The video is on our Patreon. Go check it out. It was very fun. We did a ghost hunting thing. But we had a very scary experience at the end of the ghost hunting night that we were doing. And Amanda had been like saying like, oh, we're so stupid. Because we just stayed at, my family used to have a cabin up there. So we just stayed at my family's cabin. And Amanda the whole time was like, we're so stupid. We should have stayed at the haunted hotel. We should have done this. We should have done that. And as we're driving out of Jerome after,
that's what you're talking about.
Yes, after we had this incident, this scary incident, she's literally going, if I had to sleep in that fucking haunted hotel tonight, I would have to book another hotel.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way I would go back in there. Fuck that, fuck this place.
I mean, and driving down like the scary street, and they had no street lights. Nobody had a street light.
Yeah.
Why?
We had to drive like 45 minutes ish, maybe closer to an hour back to the cabin after we finished up in Jerome, and there's no lights. We're driving through the woods, and it was
Scariest
so dark.
Drive of my whole entire life. I have never been more scared in my entire life.
Amanda kept telling me like, can you please look in the trunk and make sure there's nothing back there? And I was like, I was like, fuck you, first of all. No fucking way I'm doing that. Do you see how dark it is? It was pitch black. There was no moon, nothing.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be the brave one. So when you said you weren't going to do it, I was like, great, we're going to die.
I was like, absolutely the fuck not. We almost hit an elk. It was a whole thing.
The elk.
It literally walked right in front of our car. And then I had to be like, Amanda.
The elk walked straight in front of this was literally like a horror movie, straight in front of my car and just stared at us. And I had to fucking zip around it. God, what a nightmare.
It was like midnight.
What a fucking nightmare that was. Like, I can't even, like, even if I think about it too hard, I'm like, how did that even happen?
Yeah. And then we get back to the cabin, and I'm all like fucking wired. So I made everybody eat frozen pizza.
We did. Yeah. Good times.
Good times. But yeah, I just laid down in the back seat like I was in a coffin with my arms crossed over my chest, literally just laying there. And they kept saying like, Cassidy, you need to look out the window. You need to look in the trunk and make sure there's nothing back there. I'm convinced there's somebody in our trunk. And I kept just going, fuck you guys. I know if I look back there's going to be a little guy. Like I know
you
it.
kept saying that too, which didn't help anything. You're like, if I look in the trunk, there's going to be a little guy looking back at me. And I was like, great.
There's going to be a little guy.
I was like, why would you say that to me?
100%. I knew there was going to be a little guy. Thank the fucking Lord. I had the foresight when we left that morning, when we left the cabin, to leave the kitchen light on, because otherwise we would have been walking up to a just pitch black cabin in the middle of the fucking woods.
Right,
like,
which would have been horrible.
God, I remembered to do that, because I saw that light it was like a little pinprick of light in the darkness as we drive up, because it's empty. There's other cabins like in this neighborhood, but it's all people who don't live there permanently. Yeah. And it was the off season, so like nobody was there. And oh my God, seeing that little light on, I was like, I deserve the fucking Nobel Peace Prize for leaving that light on this morning.
Literally the smartest person that's ever lived.
Genuinely.
In this world.
I was like, thank fucking God. Anyway, that video is on Patreon and it's really fun if anybody wants to go watch it.
It is really fun, along with our Sunnyside Cemetery from last year.
Queen Mary, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, and we have to do what? Listen, we will do another ghost hunting video. It is just way too hot still.
Yeah, the place we're trying to go is outside, and it's been so hot that we literally are like, oh, if we go and film this, like it's not going to go well.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
Because we can't be sweaty while we're ghost hunting. What will the ghosts think of us?
Bro, I cannot relive the trauma of having to watch myself in that Queen Mary video because it was so humid. It was so humid. You guys don't understand. I did my hair and makeup so freaking cute. I looked so cute. The second the marine layer came in, girl, Amanda sent me a text because she was like putting together the second. I did like the part 1 video and she was putting together the part 2 video. And she goes, "You are not going to like this. You are not going to like what you looked like." And I was like, you know what? Honestly, thank you for that because I was watching through like through my fingers like it was a horror movie.
The hair was herring.
It kept getting bigger, and then my bright idea was I was like, oh, I'll clip it up in the back. That did not help, guys. It literally made it so much worse. There was a lot going on. But it was like one of the most fun nights of my life, so I really can't complain.
It was super fun.
It was really fun. And then the fire alarm went off the next day.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
We always have a great time, you know?
We honestly do. Like when me, Kate, and Amanda get into our shenanigans, it's always a good time.
It's always a good time.
Even if someone gets grumpy.
And someone always gets
grumpy.
Like there's never a time where one of us isn't.
At least one of us, usually all three at different points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just the power of friendship. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But that's what that is. Okay.
It is very jarring having to edit yourself talking to your best friend. Like we're always like chit-chatting, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny, the stuff where I'm listening back and I'm like, we are so mean to each other.
We definitely are sometimes.
But it doesn't feel mean.
No.
Like I'll literally be listening to something like you say to me and like at a re-listen, I'm like, oh my God, she sounds like the hugest bitch ever. Or like same with me.
Didn't you just hear me 17 minutes ago say I'm a big cunt?
Yeah.
And you're a big cunt?
But it's so weird because we're just so used to each other. And we're like so used to our tones of voices. Like really nothing hurt. You can't really hurt my feelings anymore. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot.
You can hurt mine.
Well,
for the record.
That's not that hard.
But like just now.
For example, right this very moment. But but it's so funny like editing and I'm like, oh my God, I hope people like realize like this really is how we talk to each other all the time.
Literally.
And we've been friends for 15 years, so like clearly it's okay.
Yeah.
But we both have had people who are friends with us separately like tell us like, Amanda's really mean to you, Cassidy, or like Cassidy's really mean to you, Amanda.
So funny.
It's so funny.
Me. I remember the first time
get it.
I remember when someone said that to you once and I was like, is this a joke right now? Like, because that's crazy.
It's so fucking funny. It's so funny to me.
I will say though, now that we do the videos, I feel like the visual doesn't sound as mean as the audio. Like just audio is a different experience.
Well, and we're also like we talk with our hands and we're like making faces and like being silly goofy little guys, the silly goofy little guys that we are. And so I feel like that definitely does like play a role. And with just the audio, sometimes it's hard to
exactly. Like sometimes we'll say something mean, but then in the audio, I'm making like a silly face or you're making a silly, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a different experience, guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're experiencing this, if you're experiencing this in just audio, if you're experiencing it visually, but you're going to have different experiences. So maybe just do both.
Do both. Why not?
Why not?
Who cares?
Okay.
Let's go. I did just get a notification from YouTube saying that we can do super likes now. I don't even know what that means.
I have no idea what that means either.
Well, guys, thank you. We've qualified for super likes.
Thank you so much.
That will definitely be something I'll utilize.
I don't know what it is, but I like the sound of it.
Listen, I do like to unlock things.
Me too.
I'm happy to have unlocked something.
It's like a video game.
It is.
That's kind of fun.
Well, that's why they do it like that.
Oh.
So you're incentivized to like make shit and make content or whatever.
Well,
same girl.
Sorry, my
nails?
Nails. I just got them done.
Oh.
Cute.
Obsessed.
Cute.
These are some of your best work.
Oh my God, thank you.
And by your best work I mean Winnie. Her nail lady.
Thank you so much. Aren't they so cute?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Love those. They look like little shells. They're like little shell ghosts.
So they're little ghosts, but as she was doing them, I was like, I could go ghost or I could go like little squid. I don't know. Who knows?
A little squiddy.
You never know.
That's why I like them.
It could go either way.
Why not?
Why not?
The ghosts of a squid.
The ghost of a... That's what I'm going to tell people.
Yeah, there
These
you
are
go.
squid ghosts.
Oh, Speaking of
Squid ghosts.
squid ghosts,
Tell me.
I am going to be on See Jurassic Right, I think
Ooh.
next week.
Yes, you are, queen.
Talking about the Alien movies.
Oh, okay. That's a little squiddy.
Yeah, we brought this up. I don't know why it made me think
It's a little squiddy. I'm sorry.
Probably because whenever me and Stephen Ray Morris talk to each other, it always comes back to squids somehow. We'd love to talk about the ocean.
I'm so glad that that's not in the group chat.
You're like, thank you for leaving me out of that one.
God. Do I want anything to do with that? No. Do I want to be invited to the aquarium? Yes.
That's true. That's real.
That
That's
is
real.
rude and disrespectful. So whatever.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you.
And I'm not being rude. Guys, in the audio.
If you could see the way her prosthetic jaw is wagging.
Exactly.
You would understand
You would get it.
what we're working with here.
I'm 100% that witch.
100%. Hell yeah, I love that.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, go listen to that. We'll link it on our Instagram and Twitter and all that good
Yes,
stuff.
please go listen to that.
I don't know what I've been up to doing anything clearly right on the Twitter because we've been followed by so many porn bots lately.
Oh no.
No, I'm like,
porn.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're fans are fans. I
You
don't
know what? That's so real. Maybe they listen.
Maybe they're huge fans. I don't know.
You know what? Ladies?
Listen, we do have a certain je ne sais quoi about us.
Bots?
Can't you see? Don't you see what we're serving
We
right now?
are very sexy right now.
I'm serving extremely slippery, and she's serving extremely elderly.
Or you know what? I have
What? Please. I can't wait for this sentence to leave your mouth.
I'm just saying, like, you're slippery and wet, right?
Yeah,
and
of
then
course,
I
yeah.
have like this like bulging.
You have a very phallic nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like we're giving porn bot.
Yeah,
if you
so
really
I
think about
I really
it.
do. I get it. I get the appeal of us.
If you think about it,
yeah, I get it.
I look a little bit like an uncircumcised penis. Or maybe it was like a botched circumcision.
Yeah,
circumcision.
I was gonna say probably not a good one.
It's like a halfer. I don't know. Do they do those? Can you do it half? Can you be like,
But what's
we're
the
really on the
point?
fence. We're really on the fence about circumcising our kid. Can we do a halfer?
Like literally like one half.
I don't know if they're going hot dog or hamburger, but
I don't know either, man.
could go either way, I suppose.
We're gonna
Depends what you want.
We're gonna have to Google this later.
Yeah, that's something I need to be Googling. Baby penises.
Oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I meant Google if you could do that. Whoa.
I'm zestimating that something a little.
That's a real zestimate over there. I don't know.
I'm zestimating a watch list just got alerted.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God. Speaking of watch lists,
Speaking of, tell me.
my watch list has just been consumed by anything vampire adjacent. I watched Interview with the Vampire. If you haven't watched it, get the fuck out of my face and go watch it right now.
The movie or the show?
The show.
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, and I will fight you. So feel free to fight me.
Oh.
I usually am like, I don't care, I don't want to hear it, but I actually will fight these people. The
no.
TV show is better than both the movie and the book.
Okay, I've never seen the movie, but I am interested just because Brad Pitt is looking good.
The movie's good. I mean, I went through like a big Anne Rice phase when I was in high school. Clearly, of course, I was like a weirdo girl. So like,
You?
hello,
What?
and I'm a voracious reader. And so I read Queen of the Damned. I read the Vampire Interview with the Vampire. I read the Vampire Chronicles. Been there, done that. All that stuff. Watched the movie a million trillion times. I actually just rewatched the movie to like confirm in my head. Because I was like, the show is just so much better. Everything they changed about it is just makes it so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I rewatched the movie and was like, wow, yes. Like, and this is controversial. People are going to be mad at me.
When are they not?
That's so true. Real. But yeah, the show is so fucking good. And they just released the teaser trailer for season 3. And I'm literally waiting with bated breath.
Well,
You gotta watch
I know.
it.
I turned it on and then I instantly fell asleep. Well, you're a vampire girl lately.
I am.
You know what you should watch next?
What?
The Vampire Diaries.
Okay, sure. Why
Great
not?
TV show.
What's that guy's name? Ian Somerhalder? I no idea why. I mean, I'm just guessing probably because he's been in my algorithm a lot lately. And he's very funny.
Very funny, very
he was
sexy.
Eating Costco hot dogs.
He's married to the girl from Twilight.
Which one?
What's her name?
Rosalie, the blonde?
Rosalie.
Hell yeah. She's hot.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Right? That's her name.
I think so, right?
Yeah, Rosalie.
I haven't seen those in a while. I like those movies, actually.
Yeah, so give that a shot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of a shot.
Speaking of.
We recently released a new episode of A Shot of Kool-Aid.
Yes, we did.
On our Patreon. And now we're going to introduce some people who can listen to that if it so fits their fancy.
I love this for them.
Yeah. So welcome to our new cool kids. Welcome to Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Welcome to Lauren M.
Hello, Lauren.
Welcome to Morgan F.
Hello, Morgan.
Welcome to Hannah R.
Hi, Hannah.
And welcome to Verbose.
Hello, Verbose.
I love it.
I love it too.
All right. Sorry, I'm going to burp.
Oh,
That was a weird one.
I think that's a moodang burp.
That was a moodang burp
Yeah.
if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. You are the only reason we get to keep doing this show. We are basically funded almost exclusively through Patreon. And so just so you guys know, you are the only reason we get to keep doing this show. And we hope you know how important and awesome that is. And if you can't afford to support the show, we totally get it. Just listening is also a great way to do that. But if you haven't left us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, there's so many friggin' apps that people listen on now. I don't even know.
So many friggin' apps.
Make sure you go do that 5-star review. If you are able to leave a review, that means even more. But yeah, especially like on Spotify, it takes seriously 2 minutes. I don't even even if you don't use Spotify, you listen on Apple Podcasts or whatever, just open up Spotify and hit that 5 stars. It means a lot to us. And it gets us on all those fun spooky season playlists, which gets us more listeners, which means we can afford to keep doing the podcast.
Wow. Yes to that. Beautifully said. And
Thank you.
It's, it's spooky season and that's like Christmas to us. So
That's so true. And we also love Christmas. So
and we do, but right now it's not Christmas. It's spooky.
It's our Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So do that. Do all of those things, please.
I would also like to say thank you to Kelly Ann Wolf, who bought us some beers and said, "You two have been like little in-ear besties for a while now, but the podcast has been helping me get through a long-term relationship breakup. Love you gals so much and have a drink on me."
Aww.
We're sorry that you're going through that, but as I always say, I know it fucking hurts and it sucks, and I give this advice all of the time as someone who has been through long relationships and then broken up. No happy couple has ever broken up.
Yes. I love that advice.
You always break up because you're supposed to, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to hate it. And then guess what? You're going to find so much confidence in yourself, or you're going to find the person who is treating you the way the other person wouldn't or couldn't, or you're going to find someone who makes you want to be the better version of yourself if you were the problem, because sometimes we're the problem, it does
Not
happen.
me.
Unless you're Amanda. Then it's
What?
always, then I'm always the problem. Or you might just find confidence in yourself being alone, because being alone is just as valid. So thank you and good luck. And thank you for the beer.
Wow. You're just saying just the most beautiful things.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's the moistness.
It's how moist I am, probably.
Yeah.
I'm so glistening.
It's okay. I had to pull off my nose and my chin because they were falling off. So
Listen, you gave a valiant effort.
I will be attempting to put them back on during my story, but we'll see what happens.
As you should.
As I should.
But there's no pressure. You gotta do.
There's no pressure.
You gotta do what's right for you.
I'm just
girl.
living. I'm vibing.
She's vibing. She's breathing more freely now.
I am definitely breathing more freely. That is
You do keep
true.
insisting on wearing costumes that restrict your movement and breathing.
I don't know why I keep doing that. But I think it's because I've never done it before. So I'm like, now's my chance.
And you're like, this will work. And the logistics are fine. That's none of my business. Do you have any announcements or anything that you need to touch on? Sometimes you do.
Announcements.
I don't know. You sometimes have people like birthdays and whatever.
Oh my God, I do. How embarrassing. Totally just.
Well, thank God I'm here.
Thank God. I'm going to drop the ball on that. And these are important birthdays. Okay. Well, for our birthday announcements, first I want to say happy birthday to Mahoney from your fiance Matilda. They messaged us actually today, and I'm so glad that we were able to get that in there for you.
Hell yeah.
So happy birthday, Mahoney.
Cool names, both of you.
I know. I'm pretty sure Mahoney is a cool kid because that's not a name you hear very often, and I remember that name very well.
Yeah,
and I've also talked to Mahoney many times. So happy birthday. And then we also have another very, very, very special birthday, Riley. Another one of our cool kids.
Oh, an OG.
We love Riley.
Love Riley.
And we hope you had the best birthday. You were looking very hot.
Always.
I responded to did you see the hot story with the hot outfit?
No, I don't watch Instagram stories really.
It was giving 90s. It was very hot. Yeah, it was.
I don't want to look at it. It's going to piss me off.
No, it's already gone. So you can't see
Thank
it.
God. I shouldn't be allowed.
But it was like a skirt and like a little like crop top.
Of course
shirt.
it was.
Yeah, it was very cute.
Of course it was.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Sorry your hotness makes me angry.
I know. Sometimes it'd be like that, you know?
Yeah, listen, okay? Some of us are born lucky and some of us are born Mudang.
I was going to say, some of us are just like Mudang and a night hag. I don't know what to tell you, okay?
Well, is it time to get started?
I think it's time.
All right, let's do it. Hello. We're back.
We're back, baby.
We made a new batch of little cocktails.
Yes, we did.
I peed.
You did.
And that's it.
And here we are.
That's the whole story. Okay, so today, since we are in spooky season, I don't usually like to cover things that are like creepypastas or whatever, just because I like there to be like a little bit of truth or whatever in the story. But it is spooky season, and 1 million of you have requested that I cover this. Like, genuinely, since we started the podcast, I've been getting requests for this.
And now's the time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, and Amanda's never heard this story before. She knows like that it exists, but she's never heard it. So I'm going to be telling her today the Russian sleep experiment fucking creepy pasta.
I'm very excited.
Okay, so first I have a question.
Okay.
Before I get started.
Okay.
Did you ever read any creepypasta when you were like in high school?
I don't fully know if they were creepy pastas or not, but I remember reading like stories that people thought were real, then I come to find out that they are not real.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was specifically a creepy pasta.
Okay. So like I was obsessed with Reddit No Sleep
Yeah, I never.
when I was in high school.
Do you think I did that in high school?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess I am like the one who made you like horror movies.
Yeah, like I always loved Halloween when I was a kid, but I didn't really get into spooky shit until you and I became friends.
Okay. Yeah. So like I grew up reading Reddit No Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple favorites and I loved the multi-part ones that would come out. They would have like one part and then like 24 hours later they released another part.
That's fun.
I still love No Sleep sometimes.
I don't know if I can do it.
I mean, it's just like sometimes you just get people who are really good writers and so they write like really interesting stories. But I remember like the stairs in the woods ones. Those have like transcended.
I was going to
Reddit.
say, are those fake?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a Reddit No Sleep thread.
Really?
Yeah.
Then how? Oh, okay. Wow.
That's
Because
like
so
an
many
OG.
podcasts like cover that, and I thought it was like real.
No, that's like an OG. That's like Slender Man. Like they can find exact like
Oh.
it was originally posted on Reddit No Sleep.
Oh, well, there you go. Slender Man. I know Slender Man.
Slender Man is an original creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, sorry. Everything on me is so wet and shiny, and I just keep touching it and then being like, "Oh no, what now?"
You're just gonna have to sit in it.
Just gonna have to deal with it
Yeah.
as it comes. So Mudang deals with this every day of her life.
She does, and she doesn't fucking complain.
Imagine how she feels.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
you can do this for 1.5 hours.
diva down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved those ones. There was also another one about like this town that had spooky stuff happening, and then like, you know, there's a big twist at the end. I used to read like all of those all of the time. I'm surprised you never had one.
Okay, so there's like this one, and I have no idea if this is a creepypasta or if someone made it up, but there was this one about like a camp, and there was like a serial killer, and then I feel like you're gonna know this, and then the girls were like telling each other spooky stories in the cabin, and then one girl like went out and was like trying to scare everybody, but then in the story she's like, they're like, oh, and then you hear the scratching on the door, and they hear the scratching on the door and they think that the girl is just like trying to scare her, but then she really was getting murdered.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a creepypasta, but I know.
That feels like an urban legend.
Okay, maybe it's an urban legend.
I mean, I guess that's what creepypastas are.
Yeah, because I'm not totally sure
Yeah.
on what's a creepypasta and what was just like a story.
Which, speaking of, I actually just made my boyfriend watch the movie Urban Legends.
I just watched it too.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you
It
told
was
me.
so good.
Because he loves a good campy.
Yeah, it was very like I can't believe I've never seen it before because it was very like Scream-esque.
90s,
I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was very good. I loved it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so like I read all of those. I was obsessed with the stairs in the National Forest ones. Basically anything to do with the woods, like because it's scary out there. And
Oh yeah,
I go camping a lot.
very scary out there.
But for sure, one of like the OG famous creepypastas is the Russian sleep experiment.
Yes, I've definitely heard of it. I've just never read it.
Well, I'm going to read it for you today.
Oh boy.
Feel free to interject with questions, comments, or concerns.
Okay.
And this was originally posted by a user named Orange Soda. Nobody
love that.
knows actually like the real name of the person who wrote this, but it's become like such internet lore.
I love that. I think it's important that more people go by, like, what is it called, a pseudonym?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a silly little guy.
Just a silly little guy that no one ever finds out who you are. I love
Yeah.
that.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay.
Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas would not kill them. It was very toxic in high concentrations. This was before CCTV, so they only had microphones and a 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows in which the people would be monitored. The chamber was stocked with books and cots. There was no bedding on the cots, but somewhere where they could lay down if they needed to, as well as running water, a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 of them for well over a month.
This is like the original Mr. Beast experiment.
Okay. Low-key, he's a supervillain.
Dude, his experiments are crazy.
What the fuck?
I could never do them.
I don't understand how people get joy from watching that. I don't, and like no judgment if you do. I just personally don't understand it. Like, why would you want to see someone buried for 24 hours so that they can like pay their bills? It's sad.
So he, not to like say that I like him or anything, because I don't really care. I've seen some of his videos, and he just does he's really smart because he does a good job where he's like, oh, these people have been stuck out here for 100 days, right?
Yeah.
But he condenses it in a 15-minute video. So it's so quick that you're not actually realizing like these people are out here for literally 100 days.
Yeah, it feels just like really like dystopian to me.
No, it's kind of crazy.
And I was actually thinking
It's like Squid Game, but like real.
Exactly like that. Like these people need money, I would assume. And
he dangles it in front of them.
Well, and I know he's being sued right now.
Is he?
By apparently he had like a TV show that's being filmed.
Oh.
And they like didn't feed people, and allegedly that's what the people that are suing him are saying. Like they didn't feed them, they didn't give them like access to bathrooms.
Oh.
They one girl like they like wouldn't give her meds like for insulin or something. It was like a whole thing.
Damn.
I don't know, to me I'm just like, that's so fucked. Like to me it's just like upsetting. Like why would you ever want to see people who are struggling being like, yeah, I really need to pay my bills, and then like some millionaire's like, okay, solve these riddles 3. Like it's all like really sad.
Once again, I genuinely think it's just because he condenses it so much that it looks like you're not really realizing that these people are out there for as long as they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like what they're really doing.
Yeah, because it's a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I just never got it. I mean, you know, like YouTube is not really my thing. So I like never really understood it. But then recently when I saw this lawsuit and whatever, I was like, he's like actually scary. Like,
yeah, I mean the things that
and people are like, oh, he's like helping so many people. But I'm like, okay, but he also makes people do like really weird fucked up shit. It reminds me of that story that you covered about that reality TV guy.
Yeah, no, at 100%.
Like
100%.
That's what he, in my opinion, it feels like he does.
No, 100%.
Yeah, and apparently his fucking chocolate sucks anyway.
It does. I've tasted it.
Yeah, apparently it's really bad.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway,
don't sue us, please.
Don't sue us. This is all our opinion. And I, as an American Thai hippo, am entitled to my...
As a pygmy hippo.
As a pygmy hippo, I am entitled to my opinion.
And I'm just a night hag. I don't exist.
She's fake.
So shut up.
So grow up. Nobody wants to eat your weird Lunchables. Okay. The test subjects were all political prisoners, and they were deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained. They had been promised, falsely, that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days.
Couldn't be me.
Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past. The general tone of the conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark.
It's only 5 days? Oh, no, 30 days.
30 days is supposed to be the total. They're only on day 5 right now.
Okay.
After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and they started to demonstrate severe paranoia. One time, I didn't sleep for 5 days.
What?
And I had to go to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So let me tell you, severe paranoia is real. You also start seeing shit that like isn't there, like hallucinating.
One time I took Molly and that happened to me, and then I didn't sleep for like 3 more days after that.
But yeah, I like didn't sleep for like 5 days, probably not more than like 20 minutes, like that whole like in that whole span. And the first time I tried to go to the doctor, they were like, "Oh, we actually don't take your insurance anymore."
Oh,
and they were like, "Or you can pay with cash if you want." And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
like what cash?
I was like, I haven't slept in 3 days. And they were like, well, you can go across the street and get cash out at this like liquor store. And I was like, oh, that's a crazy. I literally just got back in my car and just drove to work.
Terrifying that you drove
okay.
away.
Guess this is what we're doing now. Anyway, but yeah, not sleeping for 5 days will definitely fuck you up. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. So after 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances of the events that led them to where they were. And at first, the researchers suspected that all of this was an effect of the gas itself. They stopped talking to each other and began alternating whispering into the microphones and the one-way mirrored portholes. So the things that like the researchers were watching through were one-way mirrors.
I think that should be illegal.
One-way mirrors?
Yes.
Agreed.
Like, that's gross.
If you're allowed to look at me, I should be able to look at you, you little freak.
Yes.
Yeah. And you think we don't know? We know. We're not stupid.
I mean, maybe. I might not know.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
And I pick my nose a lot.
Oh, girl. Mood.
A lot.
Me in the car. Don't even get me started. Oddly, they all seemed to think that they could win over the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades and the other subjects that were in captivity with them. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight, at which point he continued to attempt to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks.
Okay, but how do you stay, like, how do they make sure that you're not falling asleep?
Well, they said that they're using a stimulant gas in the chamber. That's how they're keeping. They're like testing that. Yeah. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior was how the other captives reacted to it. Or rather, they didn't react at all. They continued whispering into the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream.
What were they whispering? Can you do it for me?
Hey, I'll turn them over. You'll let me out of here, I promise.
Oh.
What do you need to know? I'll tell you anything you want to hear.
Got it.
They were like trying to be like sneaky little
Sorry, I'm trying to
sneaks.
be in there.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want you to be in there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, but
No.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The two non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared the pages with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes so they could not be seen. The screaming promptly stopped.
They killed him.
And so did the whispering into the microphones.
Oh, shit.
After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure that they were working, since they thought it had to be impossible that no sound could be occurring with 5 people inside the chamber. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive, and in fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at heavy levels of strenuous exercise.
What are they doing?
So what are they fucking
And there's
up
feces covering the cameras at this point.
Covering, like the portholes that they were looking into, yes.
Okay.
On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something that they said they would not do, just to try and get a reaction out of the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the people, because they were afraid that they were either dead or worse, vegetables.
Vegetables?
Yeah.
Like, because
they stayed awake too long,
Oh.
because, I mean, nobody knows. Like, they've been awake for 2 weeks straight at this point.
oh my God.
Yeah. They announced, quote, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom."
This is giving Squid Game.
A little. It's giving Mr. Beast.
Allegedly.
In my opinion. To their surprise, they heard a calm voice respond, one single phrase: "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided that they would open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day.
Wow, that's only halfway through.
I know. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air. Immediately, the voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began. They were pleading as if they were pleading for the life of their loved ones to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and soldiers were sent in to retrieve the test subjects. Then they began to scream even louder than ever, and so did the soldiers who saw what was inside of the chamber.
Wait, how many people do we think are inside the chamber still?
5.
5, but only one person has been speaking.
Yes, until they turned the gas off, and then they heard 3 different people speaking.
3. Okay.
And we do know that one guy screamed his vocal cords into...
Right.
Yeah.
But now the soldiers are screaming.
Yes, because inside the chamber, 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call them any state of real life.
Oh.
The food rations past day 5 had not been touched, and there were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking it and allowing 4 inches of water and blood to accumulate on the floor.
I'm going to be sick.
Precisely how much of the liquid on the floor was actually water or blood could not be determined.
Okay.
All 4, quote, surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies.
From what?
The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by their own hands and not teeth, as the researchers initially suspected.
I don't like the way you're just casually reading this with like a sneaky little smile on your face as I'm literally going to vomit.
Listen,
into my Aperol
welcome
spritz.
to Halloween. It's Halloween time, okay?
Ugh.
Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted.
Well, this is what happens when people stay awake for too long.
Go to sleep, guys. You really got to do it.
Is this a movie?
There have been movies made like based on this, yes. There was actually one made based on the stairs too.
Oh.
I actually watched it. It wasn't bad. Like an indie film. The abdominal organs below the rib cage of all 4 test subjects had been removed.
That's not self-inflicted.
While the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscle attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage.
Wait. Sorry. What? You said they were alive.
They are alive, yes.
Okay.
All the blood vessels and organs remained intact, but they had been taken out of their body cavities and were laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects.
Who the fuck wrote this? Because I would need to speak to them.
You would like to have a word?
Yeah.
Yeah. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that they were digesting their own flesh.
No.
That they had ripped off and eaten over the course of many days.
No, I can't. This is a horrible story. Why did you do this to me?
It's like one of the most famous internet creepypastas like ever, dude.
Why did you do this to me?
Because I'm evil.
I know.
You know this. You know that I'm evil. You already knew it.
Even though you're dressed like a cute hippo.
That's the bait and switch, baby.
Oh.
Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still, many of them refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. The subjects themselves continued to scream to be left in the chamber and begged to have the gas turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out, and another was gravely injured, having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subjects' teeth. Another five soldiers lost their lives because they committed suicide the weeks following the incident.
The soldiers?
Uh-huh.
And they weren't even like in there full time. They were able to leave?
They just saw what was in there and it freaked them out so much.
I mean, I would do the same.
In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one of the doctors. His heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he bled out, to the point where there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word more, over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent.
Listen, I'm not saying that the soldiers and the doctors don't deserve that.
They do a little bit. They did do this.
Do a little, though, yeah.
Yeah. This was their idea.
Yeah. Like, you put these people through this, so, like, do you deserve to get, like, your arm eaten off by one of your subjects? Yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah. Realistically.
Yeah.
The 3 surviving test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begged for the gas, demanding to be kept awake.
Because if they fall asleep, something bad's going to happen.
That's what they think, yeah.
Oh. Now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
You're just going to be thinking about this?
Yeah.
Wait till I show you the picture.
No, picture?
Oh, just wait. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back inside of his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative that they had given him to prepare for surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought in to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding him down. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered closed, his heart stopped.
Oh, if they sleep, they will die.
Mm-hmm. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had triple the normal level of oxygen. The muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 of his bones, struggling to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscle exerting upon themselves. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords were completely destroyed. He was unable to beg or object to the surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought out. He shook his head yes when someone suggested, reluctantly, that they try the surgery with no anesthetic.
What the?
And did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin.
Oh,
The surgeon residing stated repeatedly that it should not be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever their eyes met. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze, loudly attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming it must be something important, the surgeon had a pen and paper fetched so the patient could write down his message.
I don't want to know.
He kept it simple. Keep cutting.
What was in that gas?
I know. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they were injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients kept laughing.
No.
Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic would clear their system in abnormally short periods of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds, and the moment that they could speak, they were asking again for more stimulant gas.
That gas is good.
I honestly, low-key want to try it. The researchers tried to ask why they had injured themselves or why they had ripped out their own guts and why they wanted to keep ingesting this gas that made them do this. And the only response that was given was, I must remain awake.
Yeah, because if I fall asleep, I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't want to rip out my intestines.
I would also not like to do that, personally.
So I think I'd rather die.
Than rip out your own intestines?
Yeah. And like...
It's like Saw.
I literally can't even. I'm going to throw up. Okay.
Yeah, you would fail at Saw for sure.
Girl, yeah.
Yeah.
In a second.
Yeah.
If they were like, die or cut off your leg.
You would just die.
Bye.
Yeah.
See ya on the other side. No, thank you.
I'll be back to haunt you. Don't worry about it.
No, thank you. But I'm going to have both feet.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
I will not be limping.
Right.
Yeah. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what to do with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed their goal, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects.
Yeah.
The commanding officer instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they put the gas back on.
They would like that.
The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor, and they had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going to get back on the gas.
Be like, it's good.
Seriously, it was gas.
Give it to me.
Isn't that something kids say?
It's gas?
Yeah, like it's good, like it's gas.
Maybe.
I feel like the kids say that. I don't know. Kids, let me know. Kids, do your homework. What are you doing listening to us? Oh my gosh.
Kids, I said cunt 4 times in the beginning of this episode.
Genuinely.
So don't listen to this.
Genuinely. It was obvious that, at this point, all 3 were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could still speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds, back and forth, first left, then right, then left again, for something to focus on and keep himself awake. The remaining subject was holding his head off of his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired with the EEG machine, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes they would flatline inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on the paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw as the man's eyes slipped shut, and at the same moment, his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed into that of someone in a deep sleep.
Uh-oh.
Then flatlined.
He died.
For the last time as his heart stopped.
See?
They gotta stay awake.
I told you. They die if they sleep.
It's like Freddy Krueger.
You know, I've never seen... whatever, it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
They're really good.
I know. I don't know why I've never seen them.
You at least have to watch like the first 3. And then obviously Freddy versus Jason. Come on.
I know.
The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as the other one that had just died. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both the subjects inside as well as 3 of the researchers.
Oh, not good.
One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to the bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team tried to flee the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things, not with you," he screamed at the man strapped to the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." The subject smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked.
Oh, I don't like this.
"We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be freed at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." The researcher paused, then aimed and shot the subject in the heart. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out, "So nearly free." And that's the end. And now for the picture that's haunted the internet since this came out.
I don't think I want to see it.
This is supposed to be allegedly a photo of one of the victims of the Russian sleep experiment. Oh, Amanda's disgusted.
I'm so sorry for the spike in the sound wave that I just
that you just created.
But nope.
Yeah.
No.
So this is one of the most famous creepypastas, like literally of all time. People love it. There's also a ton of debate online whether or not it's actually based on a true story. There's, of course, like believers that think that this really happened.
I mean, you know how I feel about things in general.
You're like, yeah, probably true.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like everything comes from something.
Well, so a lot of people who talk about this story or tell this story, they, of course, mention how governments, not just the US government, but lots of different governments have done experiments on humans that have been incredibly immoral and upsetting and disgusting. Obviously, German soldiers during World War II, but also Japanese government, like they experimented on tons of Chinese people during World War II. As we know, I've covered it on this show before, the US government, MK Ultra, like all sorts of stuff. So of course people are like, yeah, this doesn't seem unrealistic.
Yeah, and there's real stories of other kinds of experiments that have been done by governments around the world that are horrifying and immoral and terrifying and all the things. So, I mean, I'm sure there's been sleep experiments like this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing is people are like, the reason it's so scary is because this is something that seems like something a government would do.
Yeah.
And we don't know what happens if you stay up that late.
Exactly.
Or how long or whatever. Yeah.
Listen, I was up for like 48 hours when I took what's that pill where people try to focus?
Adderall?
I took Adderall. Remember that time?
Yes.
And I didn't sleep for like 48 or 72 hours or something, and I was going a little crazy. So I can't imagine. And you're confined to like a room. Like you would definitely go insane.
Yeah. Adderall makes me so normal. All stimulants do because my brain is fucking fucked up and weird.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, when you don't sleep even for 48, 72 hours, you know, whatever. It's
I usually just
really
cry.
Difficult. Yeah, you become emotionally unstable. Like I said, you start like seeing stuff out of the corner of your eyes. Like even when I just don't have a very good night's sleep, like I only get like 3 hours or something, like I'm so irritable. I'm such a nightmare.
No, yeah. There was one time where I was like really, really, really tired. This was a long time ago, but I was really tired. I was coming home from something late at night. And I don't know what the heck was going on, but as I was driving, I kept seeing like something that I thought something was running across the street at the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really dangerous. Like, I'm so tired driving home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is dangerous. I wasn't like drunk or anything. I was just tired.
Yeah. No, I have friends who, and for some reason, like when they drive, it's worse, and they have to chew like that sour gum and stuff to keep them awake. Because I don't know what it is about driving that like lulls you.
I know. I hate to say it. I don't really go anywhere late at night anymore, luckily. But back in the day when I did, there's been a couple times where I've almost
that's a little
fallen
scary.
asleep.
Yeah.
I've told you the story about
when you were driving. It was in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I was driving up to LA for something, and I literally, my whole entire head fell down to the ground, and I felt like a hand had grabbed my head and pulled me up.
Yeah, and like woke you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleep is like no joke. Like we need it. And the weirdest part about sleep is like we don't really know why like our bodies need it, but we just know that we do. Like you start deteriorating pretty quickly if you remove sleep. I mean, that's one of the reasons that like when people are trying to control, like you talk about like cults a lot, like they don't let them eat and they don't let them sleep because like if you're not fed and you're tired, you're really easy to control. And so like clearly it affects your mental state like very, very severely.
Unfortunately, they do that stuff a lot on reality television to make people more emotional.
Yeah, it makes them crazy.
And, give a lot more drama.
Yeah.
Well,
guys, you can stop asking me. There's the Russian sleep experiment.
Very creepy.
In its entirety.
Very creepy.
Very creepy story. It haunts the internet to this day. People cover it. Sometimes people cover it even like it's real because there are people that are convinced that it's like a real thing.
Yeah, I have for sure seen podcasts do it, and in a real way, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that picture, I remember seeing that picture when I was like 17 or whatever. It scared the crap out of me.
Definitely gonna maybe cause me to not sleep very well.
That'll be on the Instagram and the YouTube, so go check that out.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Miss Mudang.
Thanks.
I appreciate everything you do for us.
I think Mudang would like this story.
No, she wouldn't.
Mudang would definitely eat anybody.
She would scream
in her path, and she would definitely scream. Yeah.
Can I breathe? No. Is that okay? Yes.
Amanda feels the need to torture herself for her art.
Well, it's not even just the nose. It's just I stood up and sat down.
That too, yes.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
For me, at least. Are you taking off your Mudang?
I'm just taking off some of the gook that's on my face because it is sweaty. It's very wet, like I said.
We like the gook.
It's gooky.
We like it. All right, guys. So now that I'm nice and scared from Cassidy's story, let's talk about another legend.
Ooh.
This is a legend. And we're going to talk about La Lechuza.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is kind of why I'm dressed in this getup as well.
On brand. Themed.
On theme.
Theming.
Hello. So my sources were texasstandard.org by Sarah Ashk and Raul Alonso, spookytales.com, All That's Interesting by Austin Harvey, thoughtcatalog.com, and Wikipedia.
Of course.
But of course. So La Lechuza is a Mexican folklore or legend. There's a few different origin stories of the legend of La Lechuza, just like many folklore stories in different cultures. The story does change a little bit as it gets passed down from generation to generation.
As it should.
As it should, yes. So the origin story of La Lechuza usually starts with the fact that she was once just a simple human woman that something very bad happened to, and it turned her into a vengeful monster.
Sounds like my origin story.
It might be your origin story. La Cassidy.
Yeah.
In some versions of the story, her child was killed by a drunk driver, and La Lechuza specifically goes out and attacks drunk people leaving a bar in the middle of the night.
Honestly, that's fair.
Which is kind of iconic.
Yeah, I can't really be a hater on that one.
I mean, do what you gotta do.
She's got to work through her trauma. That's on us.
That's on us, and I respect her for that. So Lechuza literally translates to owl in English. And that's because when she turns into this quote unquote monster, or when you see La Lechuza, she is half woman, half owl.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, kind of sexy.
That's a good combo. Owls are really scary also.
Owls are very scary. We've talked about them a little bit before on the pod. But half woman, half owl, is it scary or is it sexy?
Well, all things that are scary are a little sexy. That's kind of the fun of them.
Real, like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I tweeted the other day, I was like, I like birds in the normal people way where I am afraid of owls still. Like, I love birds, but I'm afraid of owls.
No, owls are very scary.
Yeah.
Other stories say that La Lechuza is a bruja, which translates to witch in English, obviously. Some people tell the legend that La Lechuza was killed by the locals in her village after being exposed as a bruja. And she has come back in the form of an owl creature to get her revenge against the humans.
Once again, I'm not seeing anything wrong with her.
I respect women's rights
and their
women's
wrongs. Especially their wrongs.
That's right. That's what we do here. And obviously, when she does come back as this owl creature, it's not usually like your typical looking, just small owl.
Yeah.
It is a giant white owl that is 7 feet tall with a wingspan of 15 feet, but the face and hair of a woman.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Love.
Kind of sexy.
Yeah,
like
once again, sexy is the name of the game here.
Now, although some people believe that any owl can be a bruja, so any small owl you see can be.
I have heard that like owls are indicative of witchcraft.
Yes. I mean, Harry Potter, he has an owl.
It makes sense, yeah.
You know?
Hedwig in the 8 inch.
Exactly. But some stories say that La Lechuza was never actually like a human woman at all, but she's a witch's familiar.
Ah, okay. Like Hedwig and his angry inch.
Exactly. But like how vampires have familiars. It's basically like a small sidekick, usually an animal sidekick. And these are sidekicks that are given to a witch by the devil.
Like Salem from...
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, cute.
From
Sabrina.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, yeah.
But usually La Lechuza is described as a woman or a bruja by day, and then she transforms into this creature at night.
Okay, I dig it.
So this legend is told usually to kids as like a cautionary tale to frighten them, to make sure that they don't go walking along the roads at night, or else Lechuza will come down and grab you with her giant talons and scoop you up and fly away into the night.
Because she's a friggin' owl.
She's a fucking owl, dude.
Friggin' owl, dude.
That's cunty.
That is cunty.
Yeah.
I like it.
She doesn't have to get her nails done. They're already long, you know? Also, another kind of like cautionary tale of don't be a fucking stupid drunken fool.
Yes.
And walk home alone from the bar or get into your car when you're drunk, because La Lechuza will come after you.
She will get your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hates drunk people, like I said. So often La Lechuza will be seen perched outside of bars,
waiting.
Just like lurking in the shadows and waiting
for your dumb drunk ass,
sad, lonely drunk person to just stumble out of the bar, and then she snatches him up
I support her once again. I think
Yeah.
she's doing the Lord's work.
I think she is too.
I have no issues with her. I think, if anything, I respect her deeply.
No notes.
No notes. Yeah,
10
10
out of 10. Yeah. She's also super big. Like I said, she's like 7 feet tall, wingspan of 15 feet. So she can pick up a grown ass man.
Yeah, swoop him away.
Yeah.
It's giving that that one. Did you ever watch VHS?
Do you know our friend is in the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
I did. Yeah. If you guys, sorry for the sidebar, but if you watch VHS, the new one that just came out, our friend and listener of the pod, Bix, is in it.
Yes, she is.
Yes. So really want to see it.
And also, what's her name? Mike Flanagan, Kate Segal. She is in like all of the Haunting a Hill House and all those, yeah, whatever. She directed a short for VHS.
Oh, hell
the
yeah.
new VHS movie, which is
Hell
another
yeah.
reason to go see it. Obviously, go see it for Bix. Also,
I can't wait to see it.
yeah, that's gonna be really fun.
So some of her other tactics, back to Lechuza, some of her other tactics that she uses to lure people out of their homes into the darkness is that she can mimic the sound of a baby crying.
That's a classic.
Classic. We love that.
We love it.
Or her whistle is kind of like a call to her prey. So it's giving Sarah Sanderson in Hocus Pocus when she sings the song and all the kids come. It's like that.
That makes sense.
Some say that hearing Lechuza's cries is a bad omen. And if you hear it, someone in your family will die.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like you won't die. But
that's even worse.
Somebody will. And others say that even dreaming about Lechuza will also cause someone in your family will die.
Okay, yeah. I've heard that before.
Yeah, which I can't control my dreams. So,
But she can.
Can she?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I would assume she's appearing in your dream as an omen.
That's true. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't think it's a random dream. I think this is you earned this dream.
But if I think about her in the day and then I dream about her, like, is that my fault?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right. You're right. The one thing that can protect you from Lechuza is salt. So once again, just like in Hocus Pocus, you know that the witches can't get through a ring of salt. And
same thing with ghosts and other paranormal entities. I don't know, something about salt. They hate those.
Something about
that
it.
Guy.
Yeah. So if you put salt along your windows or just like around your house in general, kind of like a force field, it will protect you from her. But it'll only protect you from her when you're in the salt. So once you leave the salt, you're fucking donezo.
Yeah.
Just so
that's why you don't leave your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's also kind of similar to a vampire in the sense that she can't come into your house unless she's invited in.
Okay.
So you have to be like, let's say she shows up like a regular person and you invite her in, then she's in your house for good. Like she can come in whenever she wants, even at night when she's the creature.
Yeah, just like a vampire.
But if you whistle 3 times at midnight, that's also an open invitation for her to just like pop in whenever she wants.
Okay, good to know.
Because she's like putzing around and she can pop in.
Okay, she's putzing, she's popping.
Yeah.
And you're saying open for business, baby.
Yeah, you're saying you don't need my
yeah, you're
invite.
saying come thrift.
Yeah. So there have been many sightings of Lechuza, and these usually happen around different areas of Mexico and Texas. A sighting in the 1950s in Nueva Laredo was of a Lechuza that was out terrorizing the town, and she's fucking some shit up for these like locals, right?
As she should.
As she should be, because once again, she's out for revenge and we support her.
Yeah.
And all the locals got together in this town and they came up with a plan to kill the Lechuza.
Oh, what haters.
I know. So one of the guys in town, he uses his own child as bait.
Oh, good dad alert.
Right. And he plants the kid in the woods. And all the townspeople are just like waiting for the Lechuza to come and like try to grab the kid with her talons and stuff. And then once Lechuza comes down, all the locals come out of the woods and they start shooting at it with guns.
What kind of hater ass shit is this?
But what they didn't know was that the Lechuza can't be killed by a gun.
Yeah, duh.
However, they were able to hit one of its huge claws and it kind of like frightened it and it flew away.
Okay.
So the next day, the townspeople knocked on the door of a bruja that they believed to be this specific Lechuza that was terrorizing everybody. And when she answered the door, her leg was wrapped up in a bandage.
And they were like, it's clearly her.
So this did allegedly confirm to the townspeople that she was the one they hit with their gun the night before. And I don't know what happened to her after that, but it probably wasn't very good.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah. And then on Reddit, there are tons and tons of people that are sharing their stories of this legend, like things that were told to them by family members or stories of their own personal experiences seeing La Lechuza. So a lot of the stories are kind of similar to this one, where a Reddit user said, "Growing up, I was told by my siblings that La Lechuza was this huge black bird that would visit your home during the night and either sit outside your window or sit on top of the roof making whistling noises until you couldn't take it anymore. Once you went outside, it would peck or scratch you."
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that kind of brings me to this story that I came across on Mysterious Universe that I really wanted to tell.
Your favorite.
I love Mysterious Universe. Brent Swanser, shout out. But the origin of the story actually comes from a journalist named Rob Morphy on cryptopia.us. This journalist, he actually interviewed a woman who lived in Venezuela, and she claimed that there was this family in this small town of Rubio that was harassed by a bruja that took the shape of a large vulture-type creature. And in some stories of La Lechuza, the owl is typically seen as like this big white owl, but kind of like I said in the Reddit stories and in other stories, it's described as a giant black bird.
Yeah.
But in all the stories, it has the face of a woman.
Yeah.
So this story kind of seems to fit the bill for that.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the story takes place in 1997 in the small town of Rubio in Venezuela, and it is with the Mendoza family. The Mendozas lived in this town for a long time, and they had a pretty nice house. They weren't like very wealthy by any means, but the house was big and all of their extended family members lived in it. So a lot of people were in this house. And one of the family members was one of the younger uncles. His name was Juan Mendoza. And Juan had the reputation around town for being a ladies' man or a man whore, however you want to put it. He was not the best guy. And one day, Juan sees this woman in town, and he's like, she's hot. She's sexy.
I need her.
I have to have her, like right now. So he tries to get with her, and she's like, hold up, homie. I'm a devout Catholic woman.
Ooh.
I'm saving myself for marriage. You can't just like get these goods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh, yeah, that's not going to work for me. I need it now.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, maybe if I like woo her a little bit and I take her out and I take her on these romantic dates, eventually she'll give me what I want, right?
Men always want what they can't have.
Always. But she's very persistent on the fact that she wants to save herself for the person she's going to marry one day. She's like, you can take me out, but like I'm saving myself for marriage, sir. And after a few dates, Juan tells this woman, well, I love you and I have every intention of marrying you one day.
Classic line.
And this young woman, unfortunately, fell for Juan's bullshit. And they do the deed.
Ugh.
The very next day, Juan ghosts her, and he starts to move on to his next conquest, leaving this woman heartbroken and ashamed for breaking her vow of chastity to God.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, people all over town start gossiping about what this girl has done. They're like, did you hear she gave it up to Juan Mendoza?
Yeah, how'd she fall for that shit?
She's like, great, now everybody knows what I did. God knows what I did. Like, how can I live this down? And she's depressed. She's embarrassed. But soon, all of these emotions start turning to anger.
As they should.
And this
revenge.
That's right, baby. This anger turns into a desire for revenge. So this young woman had a grandmother who was said to be a bruja that practiced dark magic. And since her family was super religious, the grandmother was kind of like not really in their lives, and she lived alone out in the woods by herself.
Yes, as a witch should.
As a witch should, and as Cassidy one day will, I'm sure.
Fingers crossed, baby.
So now the young woman's like, okay, I gotta go find my grandmother, and I have to learn all about this dark magic so I can fucking get back at that bastard Juan Mendoza for what he did to me.
Yes.
So she goes out in the woods, and a few nights later, the Mendoza family starts to hear banging and scratching sounds on their roof. This continues to happen night after night after night. Then, on top of these sounds, their house started to fill with this disgusting, metallic, rotten odor. And after several nights of this happening, Juan's sister Rita, her husband, and 2 other family members decide they can't take this any longer and they need to go outside and figure out what's happening.
Yeah. Go investigate.
Which I would never personally do.
No, she would not. She would just pretend it's not happening.
Or I would send Cassidy.
That part, yeah.
So just as the sun went down, the banging and scratching noises began, and the house filled with the rotten smell. The 4 people immediately crept outside to try and find the source of these things that were happening. And when they got outside, they all looked up on the roof, and that's when they saw a large bird perched on top of the courtyard. They all slowly moved closer to get a better look. And that's when they could clearly see that this giant black vulture with large clawed talons at the end of its wings had the face of a woman with long black hair and sharp fangs.
I love this lady.
The 4 family members quickly ran inside after seeing that, and they all were like shocked, and they were talking about it, and they were freaking out. And then one of them pointed out, didn't that bird look strangely like the woman Juan had just screwed over?
Yeah.
So every night, the bruja would sit in the darkness, perched on top of the family's roof. The family would know she was there, but they all just hoped that, you know, if they went outside, she wouldn't do anything to them because Juan was really the person that she was trying to get. So they were like, fingers crossed, she's just trying to harm Juan, and we're in the clear. She's not going to do anything to us. And that is what happened for the first couple of days. Every time Juan was around, that's when she would really start to fly around the house. She would wreak havoc. She would start to claw at Juan's head when he was trying to get into the house. But unfortunately, as time went on, she decided, you know what? Fuck the people that live in the house with Juan. I'm also going to try and attack them.
Honestly, fair. I support her once again.
As they would come out of the house, she would fly over them in circles. She would attack them. Sometimes she would even show up to their house not as a flying bird creature, but as an old hag with glowing eyes, long talon for fingernails, and rags for clothes. And she would come up to the door and scratch her long claws down the front of it.
Get what you deserve.
And one morning, the family opened the door to see one of her talons stuck in the wood of the door. So it got to the point where the Mendozas were too afraid to obviously ever leave their house or go anywhere at night. So they decided to call for a priest to come and help them, which the priest was, of course, hesitant to do because he's like, listen, I don't want to mess with a bruja that's trying to attack you guys because now she's going to try to attack me. And also, the priest was like, I don't really support what Juan did. Like, he's kind of...
Yeah, he's kind of deserves this.
He's kind of a fucking shitty person, and maybe he should stop, like, fucking over women. I don't know, just an idea. But regardless, the priest did come to the house, and he ended up blessing it and dousing it with holy water. And this ended up working. The bruja was unable to take her usual perch on top of the Mendoza's roof that evening. But just because she couldn't sit on the roof doesn't mean she wasn't still there in the darkness, waiting for her chance to attack.
Looming.
Yeah. The blessing protected the house, but it didn't protect the family once they left. So the family started to talk about what their next move should be because clearly this is not working. She's still there. She's playing the long con here. And they had heard a rumor of a bruja that lived out in the mountains who was supposedly the most powerful bruja of all.
Okay.
So Juan trekked up the mountains and found the bruja, and I'm assuming he must have given her some money or something, but she agreed to help the family out.
Damn, she turned on her fellow lady.
Oh, yeah. She's like...
Hater shit.
She's like, I want to be the best witch of all, so I'm down to take her out.
Yeah, I'll just take the money. And
yeah.
run.
But she told Juan to return the next day with something from the other bruja and a bottle of red wine. So the next day, Juan comes back to this new bruja, and he brings the talon that was stuck in the door from the other one.
I was wondering. I was like, how is he going to get something from her?
That's right. So this new bruja takes the talon and she dips it into the red wine and does a ritual to create a talisman with the talon. She then instructs Juan to go home and hang the talon up above their front door. And he did as he was told. As night fell, the bruja creature flew close to the Mendoza house. But this time, as she got close, her wings began to fail her and she crashed down to the ground. And her body began to transform from the bird-like creature back into a human. And she laid there naked, shivering on the ground.
Damn.
She was now powerless, back to being a lonely, heartbroken woman. She tried to return to the Mendoza's house night after night, but was unable to seek the revenge she so desperately desired. And the Mendozas were no longer afraid of her because she was just a normal woman. And eventually, she was so defeated that she stopped showing up to the house altogether.
Damn.
So the Mendoza family was finally free from this harassment and from the reign of terror that this bruja had caused. But no one ever knew if Juan had truly learned his lesson or not.
I'm going to go no.
I'm going to go no as well. And the Mendoza family claimed that this whole story was completely true. And actually people in Venezuela, specifically in Rubio, claim that they knew the Mendoza family and that this was a true story.
Yeah, they like saw it happen or whatever.
Yeah, I was reading, there was like a Mexican true crime YouTuber who actually retold this story, and all the people in the comments were like, I'm from Venezuela, I lived in Rubio, like I know this story, like this actually happened.
This happened.
Yeah.
Huh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think she should have gotten him better.
Absolutely. And I support revenge. That's the thing I like about a bruja.
I'm very pro revenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I really like that about brujas and about La Lechuza specifically. Like they're out for revenge. They're out for blood. They're trying to get back at people who did them wrong. Like, I'm sorry. How is that bad?
No, I'm very pro revenge, as you know, if you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time.
Like, that's not a bad thing.
No.
In my humble opinion.
No, women never get revenge. So to get a little bit is good for you. Good for the soul.
They deserve it. We deserve it.
We deserve it.
Yeah. And I just want to close this out because do you remember the video that went viral? I can't remember how long ago it was. I know this came out in 2006, but it recirculated not that long ago. And it came up on my YouTube the other day. And this is kind of what got me in the mood for like witches and stuff. It was, this allegedly was a video someone took of what they claimed to be a flying witch over Monterey.
Oh, yes, I do remember this. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but like that is so funny to me.
It is very funny.
So this will be up on the YouTube and on the Instagram, but if you've never seen it, it quite literally looks like a witch flying on her broomstick.
Flying through the
just
sky.
Like through the sky, just so casually.
So like on the way to get milk from the store.
Yeah, she's literally like, I gotta go to Ralph's real quick.
Just a quick pop in.
Yeah, because she's not high up in the sky.
No, she's really close
at
down,
all.
actually.
Ooh, who's this? I've never seen this guy running through the woods.
This diva?
Who's this? There's someone running through the woods chasing after the witch.
Well, wouldn't you?
No.
Oh, true. You wouldn't, actually.
They're out for revenge.
I know.
They're going
Just to offer your services.
I mean, I would be like, take me on your broomstick, babe.
Yeah, duh.
I'd be like, let me get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
I also need to go to Ralph's.
I do. You're right. But yeah, that is just a little bit about Brujas, a little bit about La Lechuza.
Love it.
And this kind of unknown story about the Mendoza family in Venezuela.
You know what, ladies? Go out and get your revenge this week. You deserve it.
You deserve it.
And so does he.
Get your Bruja on. You know what I mean?
Real.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Wonderful. Love the theming.
Thank you. You know what? It's so funny. I've always, like, I've never done like the typical, like, oh, I'm a witch, I'm a vampire, I'm a skeleton thing for Halloween. And I've always wanted to.
Well, now you can.
And now I did.
Yeah. And you have all the ingredients. You could do it on Halloween night if you want.
So I'm very excited.
Are you coming to give kids candy with us?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Maybe I'll wear this. Who knows?
I'm saying that's a good classic costume just to have access to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep this wig for sure. You never know when you never know when you need a gray wig.
You never know. It could hit you at any time.
Truly.
Any given Sunday.
Okay, I'm sweating now, so
I told you were gonna be hot in that thing.
In that thing. And I am.
Well, how about we finish this up with a listener story then?
Let's do it.
So this is from Sahara.
Hi.
And the email message, what's it called? Subject line is just Appalachian Mountains! !
Oh shit! Your favorite.
And she says, it's not really a full listener story. I'm sorry, it's very short. I think I heard a Wendigo 2 nights ago and almost got lured into the woods thanks to my car saving me. I was having a really rough night's sleep, on and off, just couldn't sleep well, and it was a really cold night, so I decided to make myself some hot chocolate around 2:45 a.m. As I'm in the kitchen, I hear crying that turns into sobbing and then into screaming. I get so startled, I look outside and I try to find the source. Trust me, as I'm writing this, I'm telling myself, no, don't do that, you idiot, like I yell at every woman in a horror movie. I step into the sunroom that's connected to the kitchen and go to unlock the back door when my cat, it was a typo earlier. It's a car.
Oh.
I think they meant cat.
Got it.
When my cat starts to go crazy right behind me. Her fur is standing all up and she's getting that arched back look. Like the classic, Halloween cat. All I do is say her name and then bang, something slams right above the door handle and I let go of the door and pick my cat up and run back into the kitchen, locking the door to the sunroom. The crying sounds like it's following me. On the outside of the house, it's taking steps. And in the kitchen, we have a small window that always has the blinds down in the wintertime. I slowly try to open the blinds to take a peek, curious as fuck as to what was scaring me, when my cat goes and gets my attention again, this time by scratching my fingers, and I get away from the window. I this time listened to my cat, and I just showered and tried to ignore it, ignored the screaming, ignoring the crying, and I didn't even touch that hot chocolate. I went to my room and I tried to sleep. Couldn't sleep, but my cat decided to sleep on my chest that night, keeping me from being any more stupid. Once it was morning, I went outside to the side of the house and found deer fur in the fence and deer tracks. But I know those cries, screams, and weird bangs on the door were no deer. I told my brother of my encounter, and he says that yes, it's probably a Wendigo, and he hears it every now and then as well.
Oh my God.
I'm just shocked he isn't startled at all, but then again, he's a weirdo like that, and he sets traps in the woods for Bigfoot. My cat is spoiled rotten, but I did give her some extra treats on top of all of that, just because she's such a good kitty.
Yeah, she saved you.
She did save your ass, so yes, give her all of the treats. She deserves it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, do they live in Appalachia?
Yes.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's frightening.
That's where the homies hang, man.
Damn.
Thank you for sending that in. If you have a listener story you would like to send in, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. If you're on Patreon, you can also do it through the Patreon messaging system. And we definitely want to hear from you.
Also, I just want to say, I feel like I've had a lot of people in the DMs being like, oh, you guys should cover this, you should cover this. And it's stuff we've covered in the past.
Yeah.
So there is a, what's it called? File
Google
Doc system that I will re-put up on the Instagram, or maybe we should put it on the website.
It's on Patreon.
Is it on the website?
I don't know.
I'll try to put it on the website just so you guys can search what stories we have covered.
Thank you, JD, our cool kid, one of our OG cool kids. JD made it for us and updates it every week.
Yeah.
You're the best, JD. And yeah, we'll put that so you guys can find it. Because yeah, I get that a lot too, where people request stuff and I'm like, oh, I already did that.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, we did that. And then I have to be like, shit, what episode did we do that?
They're
so
usually
I can let them know.
pretty right too. They'll like message me and be like, I would love to hear you cover this. I'm like, I actually already did
that.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you drop that 5-star review if you have not yet. And we look forward to seeing everybody's costumes in a few weeks.
Yes.
And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door fucking locked.
Seriously. Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.